What? I'm super locked in right now. I don't even know if I'm going to make it, honestly. Reel it in! Reel it in! Okay, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a 24-hour reading vlog. I just had a crazy week. I had a deadline for today and I also got incredibly sick over the past couple of days. So I've been like in the trenches and I haven't been reading. So I thought that we could do a 24-hour reading vlog between today and tomorrow and get some reading done because I've been wanting to read all week, but I just really haven't had like the opportunity because when I wasn't working on this project I was absolutely drugged up and sleeping. So I'm splitting it up in a bit of a weird way. I'm going to do 6 hours today and 18 hours tomorrow, which is absolutely crazy, but it's already like 4 p.m. Yeah, it's exactly 4 p.m. now and I just want to read throughout the night and kind of decompress and chill from the week that I've had. And then tomorrow I'm starting at 8 a.m. and going until 2 a.m. As for right now, I think I'm going to listen to some Emma M. Lyon for the first hour only. I don't really plan to do a lot of audiobooking. I really want to sit and read. However, I do have to pick up this house because I've been like in a drug case. But I think our 24 hours officially starts now. Let me put the timer on. Okay guys, hello. It's been like 4 hours and 20 minutes off of the timer. I'd say it's now 19 hours 39 minutes and 21 seconds. I spent some time listening to Emma Lyon. I spent way more time than I thought that I would on cleaning. I literally spent like a little over 2 hours. I got into a flow state. I couldn't stop. That's it. So I got a decent amount done out of the audiobook and I'm on the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon volume 7 now, which means I'm almost completely caught up, which is terrifying because what will I literally do when I have no more new Emma M. Lyon books to like burn through? I don't know, but I am really liking this one so far. I feel like we've already like changed things up a little bit. Arabella and Aunt Eugenia are now back in St. Crispian's for the marriage market, which I feel like is going to be so much fun. And then we're just kind of seeing Emma have interactions with different people and like a little bit of the gossip rumor mill coming into play. We're seeing her autonomy and that like control and independence that she has in her life kind of crumbling, or at least being tested. And I feel like that's going to be really interesting to follow over the course of this book and I guess the other books, depending on how long it persists. But I also read a bit of the 5th season. This is the book that I've been reading all week pretty much. I've been reading it in like small increments because, as I said, I really didn't have a lot of time this week to commit to reading, but I'm on 40% now exactly and I'm really liking it. This one is a fantasy story about, I want to say, if you've watched Avatar The Last Airbender, it's like a fantasy surrounding the earthbenders, and that's kind of like the magic in this rule. The people are called origins, who can like manipulate it, and we're also following 3 different perspectives. We're following all 3 of them are origins. One of them is like in her 20s and she's training to like go up the ranks in this one section of the rule. And then we're also following this next young girl who was recently exposed to be an origin, and she was basically kicked out of her house, and now she has a guardian, and she's now like, we're literally in her chapter right now, and we're getting the, I guess, the daily routine of these people that they bring into the fulcrum, which is like a training academy almost for origins, where they teach them how to control their power and not like kill everything in sight, which is like the capacity of their power. And then we're also following this woman who at the beginning of the story, she loses her son, and her perspective is most interesting to me right now because she's also met this young boy along her journey, and I feel like that's going to be really interesting with the 2 of them. And she also, well, that perspective is also in second person, which I don't really read a lot of often, and I can't wait until we kind of find out what the purpose of the author using that second person perspective is, because there must be a purpose. It's just so interesting, but it feels like it really involves me. I feel more attached to that specific POV. So yeah, I'm really liking this book so far. I want to make a bit of a dent in it. I have about 2 more hours. Yeah, about 2 more hours. I could probably read more, and I might. Yeah, I'm hoping to definitely pass the 50% mark, and hopefully some things start to go crazy in here, because as for right now, it's been a lot of build up and getting to know each of these 3 characters, getting to know the rule and the magic system a bit, and getting to understand the politics of this rule as well a little. It's been really interesting. It's not politics and like government facilities, but there are some government facilities, and there are just like controlling authoritative forces in this rule. So I feel like it's been really interesting so far, and if I could lock in with this for like a few hours, I feel like I can make a really decent dent.
With my life. Clever as they come, gobblers, but not the most friendly of beasts. Best stay close.
It's now the next day. I actually got the best sleep of all time last night. It was so good. All week, because I couldn't breathe properly and because I was sick, I've been waking up in the middle of the night, and I just haven't been sleeping well. So I'm so glad that I got a good full night of rest yesterday because we have a lot of reading to do today. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, that hit the spot actually. Okay, so last night I actually only made it to 50% of the fifth season. Honestly, I'm reading it a lot more slowly than I thought that I would be because there are just so many new words. Obviously, it's a fantasy book, and fantasy is something that's generally hit or miss for me. I feel like I don't have a brain that naturally gravitates towards fantasy. And while I can visualize, I feel like when there are a lot of like new words and stuff, I feel like I have to completely understand what those words mean before I could move on. And so I usually read very, very slowly so I could like continue to picture what's going on. And so I'm kind of taking my time with it. But this book says that I have 5 hours and 11 minutes left of it. So I'm thinking that actually for the first 3 hours of today, so maybe until lunchtime or around there, I'm going to see how much of this I could read and maybe get to like the 70 to 75% mark. And then I think I'm going to switch it up because this is the only book I've been physically reading and I have an entire day of reading ahead of me. So I'm thinking I have a pile up there of books that I literally have started and never finished. Like not even DNFs, just books I've simply not finished. Some of them I'm like halfway through. It's a problem. But yeah, I think I'm going to pull from one of those. But as for right now, we're going to start the timer for today. 17 hours, 54 minutes, and 45 seconds. And we're resuming. So it takes us to 2:10 a.m. Yeah, let's get into it. Oh, I forgot the chairs. Cheers. I can't even remember what it was. I thought about something like briefly, and then I didn't really think about it much again. Why was it just revealed? I don't even think that I really thought this specific thing, but I do remember thinking that there was something with the timeline that was off. What? Let me finish this crazy chapter. I was also coming to say that I can't even remember if I actually said it earlier, but there are 3 perspectives and there's one of them that was kind of boring me. And like in this last chapter, that perspective got super interesting because they brought in a new character. I feel like the other 2 perspectives have either at least one other person bouncing off our main character in that perspective, or it's like an ensemble, and it makes a much more interesting story. But this one was like I feel like now that I know what I know, I can't talk about it. That's like my toxic trait because I always feel like I'm going to spoil it. But I just feel like this one didn't have enough energy to bounce off of, and I did feel very like lonely, which I know was the point, but it was also boring to read about. Super interesting now. I'm sad. It was really interesting since the beginning of the chapter when they introduced that other person, this is one of the best chapters of the book so far. This is really where the plot starts to thicken, and I'm so invested now. I'm on 68%. I have 3 hours and 5 minutes left, and we're going to choose another book just to break it up a bit. I'm going to come back to this last 3 hours maybe later this evening. I don't think quite tonight, because if once we get into like the late hours of the night, I can't be reading this book that takes so much brain energy. But I think I want to do a little picking up around the house. I know I did that yesterday, but I think I'm going to do that really quickly just to break up the physical reading, and then we'll pick our book. Okay, I made a decision. Obviously. This is The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. It's a second chance romance of this girl and this guy who were like college boyfriend and girlfriend, and then one day, kind of randomly, she breaks up with him, and many years later she's a sporting agent and he's an NFL player, and he's kind of like needing an agent to, I think, boost his reputation or something. I don't know. He ends up, I just saw a spoiler. It's obviously not a spoiler if it's on the synopsis, but that's crazy. Anyway, they end up having to work together, and Derek kind of walks in. He's broody. He has an attitude. He's obviously holding a grudge, and he comes in and he starts like laying down these rules and saying, okay, no flirting, no, what did he say? He said a bunch of stuff, right? And like they were kind of going back and forth with giving each other rules of basically things that they loved about each other back when they were dating, and it was just so cute. Listen, one thing about me is I love a second chance romance where they're like really trying to push each other's buttons. That is like my bread and butter, unfortunately. And also, like, she just gave him a nickname. I love it. The nickname is so cute. I'm usually not really a nickname fan, but that is a cute nickname. And then as soon as that scene was happening, 18 by One Direction came on my Spotify playlist, which is sickening, to be honest. So I'm having kind of the time of my life almost. So I think I'm going to actually sit and try to read this in one sitting. That literally never happens for me. That's just not really in my cards because I'm a very slow reader. But I found that I could really binge Sarah Adams books. I think the last two that I read earlier in this year, I read within the span of 24 hours. And it wasn't for like a 24-hour reading challenge or anything. So I'm sure that if I sit on lock-in, like sit right here for 3 to 4 hours, I could do it. So we're currently at 12 hours, 48 minutes, and 55 seconds. And we're on page 63, chapter 8. So let's see. This is like a challenge within a challenge, but I'm actually having such a good time. I kind of love them, so. One of the best songs of all time, dare I say. I don't care. I need a pen. our main female character is literally so delusional, and she goes on these like spirals in her brain, and it's so funny because she is unfortunately so real. Like, what is she talking about? She says, um, why does he live here? It seems like too much house for one man. Or, oh shoot, maybe he's not one man. Maybe he has a girlfriend right now and she lives in there with him. Maybe, maybe he has a girlfriend that he's deeply in love with and only seconds for popping the question to exclamation mark. Maybe I'm about to interrupt a proposal. Girl, what? Reel it in. Reel it in. Maybe I need to put a lid on my imagination and set my brainers to simmer. Yeah. Self-aware queen. Whatever is wrong with Sarah Adams, I love it. I love whatever is wrong with this woman. She is so funny to me. I will never understand people who don't love second chance romance. I think it is actually perfect because what do you mean you know everything about her? What do you mean y'all haven't seen each other in years and you know everything about her still? Or at least remember everything about her that you knew back in college? Like, you're obsessed with her. That is just so cute to me. It's always so good, and it's also really impressive when a second chance romance works without like a huge backstory on the characters, like without a past and present timeline, and it still works. I feel like that's a feat because everybody these days, I feel like, tries to do the past and present to like really get attached to like that past version of them. But I feel like it's equally effective if you just sprinkle in those things that they know about each other that obviously is not from like this current time. It works. It's working. I'm super locked in right now. Okay, guys, it has been numerous hours. It's literally 11 p.m. right now because, well, actually, it's 10 minutes to 11 p.m. because why did they get away from me? I ended up spending, I want to say, like another hour just doing things around the house, then prepping dinner, and then a next hour cooking dinner. And I didn't listen to any audiobook while I did any of that because I don't know, I think my brain just needed a break and I didn't really want to, I don't know, overstimulate myself because I had just been reading literally all day nonstop. So I was like, you know what? Let's just like decompress and let my head be empty for 1 second for today. So honestly, there were quite a few hours in this day where like no book was being read or listened to, which definitely is affecting the current situation. But I am about to finish the rule book. I think I have like literally 3 more pages. So I thought that we could finish it together and then I will probably give like brief thoughts and then immediately jump back into the 5th season because I still have my last 3 hours to read on that and that would take us to 2 o'clock. But I'm tired. I cannot tell a lie. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like my eyes are burning. My head is kind of hurting, but we're committed. We're doing it. Maybe I could just give you my thoughts now. I really, really like this book. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did at all. There are just so many things that I love in romance books that happened in this book. I also feel like the chemistry is just so palpable and so good, and you could obviously tell that there's so much love and like deep care and affection for each other going on with these two characters, and that always sells me, like regardless of the trope, regardless of the situation. I just need to be convinced that these two people like genuinely truly love each other to their core. They're soulmates. You can't tell me that they're not soulmates. I love them so much. I feel like there were little moments where it was a little bit cringe, and this is me saying that as like a Sarah Adams absolute lover and fan. I do feel like there were some moments where it was a little over cheesy, but overall, like the cringe factor compared to the absolute like love and the absolute tension and the absolute like romance and sweetness and like the undertones of independence and wrong person, wrong time, it was like incomparable. Like the little cheesy moments actually have had like almost no bearing on my overall thoughts and feelings of this book. But I'm just saying, if I had to have one critique, it would be that. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Absolutely love this book. Love them. Let's finish it. Stella is sleeping next to me. I need to be quiet. That was so beautiful. I'm so tempted to give it 5 stars. I think I'm going to give it 5 stars because I just feel giddy. I love them. We've come, actually let me cover myself. We've come to the part of the night where I'm exhausted. It's 1:25 a.m. I don't even know if I'm going to make it, honestly, but this might be my last update. I just want to say that I knew it. Like I wasn't 100% convinced, but this was my theory about these 3 perspectives and how they connect. And I knew it. I still don't even know. I still don't even know what the story is. I don't know what the plot is, but I guess we will figure it out, right? Hello, guys. It has been numerous days since that 24-hour reading vlog. I was so exhausted the day after. We had like a really busy Saturday morning, and then literally all evening, I was just rotting slash sleeping. And then yesterday, just usual Sunday stuff. And then I had a dance show in the night. So I really haven't gotten the opportunity to just sit and talk to you guys about how I felt about the 24-hour reading vlog. Obviously, you saw that I gave the rule book 5 stars. Honestly, it's not hard to get a 5 star out of me when it comes to romance. I feel like I have the lowest threshold for a 5 star when it comes to romance, because I'm easy to feel giddy. I'm easy to get excited. I'm easy to root for characters once I feel like the chemistry is really palpable and the communication is mature and the situations are funny and cute and the tension is good. Like I'm really easy with romance, and I really, really, really loved this one. And then with Oh Girl, the fifth season, that book was a lot. It was honestly very ambitious of me. Ambitious of us both. It was ambitious of me to try to read that book in a 24-hour reading vlog. And it was also ambitious of N.K. Jemisin to write that book. I mean, it was so layered and complex structurally and plot wise. It was just fascinating. I had such a good time reading it. There was so many moments where I was confused and I wasn't sure what was going on, but I knew that it was for a greater purpose. I feel like I instinctively trusted N.K. Jemison's direction as an author, and that's saying a lot because I've never read from her before. I just thought that the story was so interesting, and the world that she's built and the themes that she's discussing in this book, I don't know. I thought it was really ambitious and it was really, really, really well done. I will be continuing the series. When? I don't know, because I finished it in the night of the morning, I guess, of the 24-hour reading vlog, and I haven't picked up a book since. I have been like either busy or rotting. So actually, I have picked up a book, but I really haven't gotten into a book since then. I just like my brain needed a rest. I needed to like contemplate what I had just read and the ending of it and where that came from. Like there were moments where I felt like too much was happening, and that kind of took away from my connection. The fact that I feel like I was just playing catch up the entire time, trying to figure out what was happening and trying to keep up with the world that we were building and the political system, and also trying to like decode and understand the themes and the messaging in the story. It did feel like a lot at times, which kind of kept me at arm's length from like really, really emotionally connecting with the story. But I do think in time that might come. So I ended up giving that one a 4 star. And yeah, I really liked it. As I said, my rankings for romance and fantasy vastly different. My expectations from them vastly different. I feel like a little bit more escapism and action in the fifth season might have taken it to a 5 star, but regardless, the 24-hour challenge was actually really fun. I will do it again. I think breaking it up the way that I did was really smart and really helpful, because that full day, the 18-hour day, I read so much. That was the most I've read in a day in a really, really long time, if not ever. And so it was really fun. It was a really fun challenge, and it was fun to just be able to sit and really focus on reading for an entire day. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.